Hey, Rob here for Quadratec.com. Today we're taking a look and installing a Mopar OEM soft top onto our 2018 Jeep Wrangler JL Unlimited. Now, whether you purchased your soft top after the fact or if, like us, you bought your Wrangler with a dual top group, there is some assembly that will be required before you can install your soft top onto your Jeep. Now, like I mentioned, we did indeed purchase our Wrangler with a dual top group. So when we picked it up from the dealership, well, of course, the hardtop was installed, and in the rear of our Jeep, we found a very large box containing the soft top and all of the hardware. Now, once we got that unloaded and unpacked onto the table here, we went ahead and removed our hardtop so we could begin the installation process. Now, while it may look a little bit intimidating with a lot of pieces and parts on the table here, it's really not if you stay organized. There's only a couple pieces here that we need to assemble. Now, starting down the end, of course, we have our completely assembled soft top assembly and mechanism here from the factory, wrapped in a protective coating. We're going to leave this as it is for just right now so that we can work on some of the other parts first. Now, you're going to get some brackets here and hardware that need to be bolted to both the body tub and the sport bar on the Jeep before we can install the soft top. You're also going to get your door surrounds. Now, you're going to get one for each side of the Jeep, one for the left, one for the right, and those door surrounds are comprised of three major components. So you're going to get one portion here that installs over top of the front doors, one portion that installs over top the rear doors, and then a C-pillar portion that connects to the rear door portion down to the body tub. Of course, we've got some hardware to assemble this. And then finally, all the way down on the end here, we have our tailgate retainer bar for our soft top's rear window. Now, the first thing we need to do before we can start with anything is to go ahead and assemble our door surround. We're going to start with the passenger side one here. So we'll go ahead and flip that upside down, make a little space here. Now, they are labeled, but an easy way to tell that you've got the correct pieces matched up here, if you take this large piece of the door surround that installs over top of the rear door with this kind of dog leg hanging off the back here, and the C-pillar with this little dog leg at the bottom, both facing the same direction, well, you know you've got the right pieces lined up. And we're going to be installing this seal between the two pieces with the hardware and washers here provided. Now, you can complete this entire assembly and installation process with the toolkit that came with your Wrangler from the factory. And to do that, we're going to be using both the T40 Torx bit and the T50 Torx bit, as well as the socket wrench. Now, if you don't have this toolkit handy, you can use tools of your choice if you've got a T40 and a T50 Torx bit. So we're going to go ahead and grab the seal that we'll install between the two halves of our door surround here. Now, there is a pin on the bottom of here that will locate the seal into the lower portion. There's also this space here that will locate with this peg on the lower part of the door surround. When you install this, you just want to make sure that both sides of this door seal are on the outside of our door surround and they're not being crushed. And then we can go ahead and grab our two shoulder bolts, two washers, and our T40 Torx bit. And we can go ahead and secure these two halves of the door assembly together. We can go ahead and flip that over, and you just want to double check that your seal is seated properly, it's not being pinched, and then we can go ahead and set that aside, and we can grab the door surround for the driver's side of our Wrangler. Grab our seal, again, get that oriented in the proper direction, making sure that the seal is seated properly here. Get the two halves matched up. And then secure them with the two shoulder bolts and washers. Go ahead and flip that over. Again, double check, make sure the seal looks good all the way around. Now at this point, we're going to want to go ahead and grab some of our brackets so that we can get them bolted to the Jeep. So next thing we have to do is go ahead and bolt a couple brackets to both our body tub and the sport bar of our Wrangler. We'll get started by first bolting this bracket right here on top of our belt rail. Now what this bracket will do is not only retain the tailgate bar for the rear window, but it also gives our side windows a place to clip into. And to bolt that down, you're just going to use one bolt right here that looks, you can see we have two different size bolts here. The larger bolt that uses the T50 Torx bit that looks just like the bolts that you took out of your hardtop. We'll go ahead and swap out our bit. And simply bolt that one down. Now when the seasons change and you go from summer to winter months and you want to reinstall your hardtop, if you have one, you will need to remove that bracket before you put your hardtop back on. Now we can go ahead and swap back to our T40 Torx bit. And the next bracket we have actually attaches right here to the sport bar. And first we need to go ahead and pull off this trim piece here. You simply grab it and pull towards the center of the vehicle. You can see there's just two metal compression clips in there that hold that in place. We'll set that aside. We'll grab this plate. Now they are going to be marked right hand and left hand and up with an arrow as well. And there's two locating pins here that even help you get it positioned on the sport bar here. Drop that in. Go ahead and bolt this in place. Now, when you go to reinstall your hardtop later on, if you have dual tops, you will not need to remove this bracket. You'll simply detach your soft top from this pivot bracket. And our trim piece that we removed, well, you can discard this if you want, or if you'd like, when you change from soft top to hardtop, you could remove this bracket. You can reinstall both of those bolts into the nut certs in the sport bar, and you can put that cover right back over top of the bolts for safekeeping. It'll just give you a little more of a finished look when you have your hardtop on. Again, that's optional. I'm going to go ahead and grab the other two bolts, brackets, and get them bolted on the other side. Next, we can go ahead and install the door surrounds over both sides of the vehicle. We're going to start here on the passenger side with the door surround that goes above the front door. Now, you can identify that you've got the right door surround piece because of this large flat portion. This will go towards the rear of the vehicle, and the hinged pieces here will go on the bottom side of the sport bar. We'll grab two of the long bolts and our T40 Torx driver. And this piece will just sit. You just want to make sure that you're placing both ends of this into these recessed pieces here in the weather seal. And there's two notches on the bottom side here that will actually drop into the holes on top of the sport bar when you've got it in the correct position. And the bolts will install up from underneath. we can go ahead and grab the door surround for the rear door. Now, just like with the front door surround, we've got a couple notches here that will locate into the holes on top of the sport bar. And there are also a couple pegs on the bottom of this C-pillar here that will locate onto the belt rail for you. And again here, you just want to pay close attention that you're not crushing this weather seal on the B-pillar here between the front and rear door when you place the door surround into place. And then again, we can go ahead and fold the hinged pieces up and install both of our bolts. Go ahead and get the other side installed, and then we can grab the soft top. So at this point, we're ready to go ahead and lift our soft top into place onto the new brackets that we just bolted to the sport bar. And if you notice on this mechanism here facing the outside, there is one Allen head bolt here, and this will actually rest right in this little indent in this bracket here, and that'll help you get the soft top position in the perfect place to go ahead and bolt it on. Now, the protective cover that was on the soft top when it was in shipping can be left on for this step. Even this extra strap that's going to keep everything together, it's just going to make it a little bit easier to handle the top while you're moving it. Once we get it up on the Jeep, then we can start undoing this. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a friend so we can lift this into place. Once we set it up on the Jeep here, go ahead and remove those two straps. You can let the outside arms hang down, lift the inside arm up, until that bolt sets right into place on the bracket. Now we can go ahead and grab our remaining hardware and our T40 Torx bit. And secure the soft top to the bracket here. Now we can go ahead and do the same on the other side. Now we can go ahead and unvelcro the front portion of this protective cover here on both sides. You notice there's a little roller here that's actually going to clip into our door surround, and that's going to help the top to slide forward and back. Now you can do this by yourself, individually, one side then the other, but if you've got a friend, it's a little bit easier to lift both sides at once. Pull that locking tab back, and it should clip right up into place. Now we can go ahead and start removing the protective cover from the rest of the soft top. Last thing we have to do before we lift the top up into place is to release the locking mechanism on each side that holds the top when it's in the down position. Just apply a little bit of downward pressure on the top. You can release the two locking mechanisms. And go ahead, lift it right up into place. you know, one of the best parts about the new soft top on the JL is the fact they've completely eliminated all zippers from the top. So if you've had a Wrangler in the past, you may be used to zippers on the rear windows. You probably have to practice this a few times until you get the hang of it, but there's a channel on the top edge of the window here, and there's a bead that's sewn into the upper portion of the soft top here between these two flaps. And you'll simply connect that bead to the channel and slide the window forward. Then you'll have a flap that's sewn to the front edge of the window that will tuck into the door surround. You'll have another flap along the bottom edge of the window that tucks into the belt rail here on the top of the body. And at this point, you can go ahead and make sure this top corner is tucked up in here. There's two pieces of hook and loop fastener that will secure that. Work your way down. And at the back edge of the window, this plastic bracket here will engage with another plastic piece up in the soft top, and this tab will lock into this pocket here on the bracket that we bolted to the body of our Jeep. Now we can go ahead, get the other side in, and move on to the back window. Now our rear window we'll install just like the side windows. Again, we have this bead that's sewn to the top edge. We've got a couple flaps. We can go ahead and slide the bead into the channel up top here. Slide the window across. And then we also have to install the tailgate retainer bar to the window. And you want to orient that so that this weather stripping here, you can see, will lay right on top of the existing weather stripping around our tailgate. And on the back side of this window, again, we're going to have another bead sewn in here, and that will slide right into the tailgate bar. And now the tailgate bar will lock into the two brackets that we bolted to the body tub here. And then finally, we have two more plastic strips on each side of the window that we can go ahead and tuck in on each side. And last, two more strips that will engage with that bracket against the body here. And that takes care of the install of our Mopar soft top for our 2018 and newer Jeep Wrangler JL Unlimited. Now, as you can see, it is a nice tight fitment here. It is definitely easier to do this install in warmer temperatures, either inside in the garage or outside in the sun. If it's a little bit colder outside, it's going to be hard to stretch this fabric to fit. Now, if you guys want to get more information or purchase a Mopar soft top for your Wrangler, you can click on that info button to head over to Quadratec.com. Of course, if you have any comments or questions about the soft top or how to install it, you can leave those for us below or contact us at any of the options on the screen in front of you. And as always, you want to make sure you hit that subscribe button so you're sure to catch all of our latest 2018 and newer Jeep Wrangler JL product reviews. Till next time, I'm Rob. I'll see you guys out on the trail.